Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video, I will discuss Elon Musk's statement, or one quote that is correctly attributed to him, which is the fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. I will use Friedrich Nietzsche's master-slave morality to explain what actually he means by this, or how I analyze Mr. Elon Musk's statement. And I think it's true. It's true. Now, how many of you heard this statement before? The Western civilization is a Judeo-Christian civilization. All right, I'm pretty sure you heard this before. I personally disagree with that. I think the Western civilization was perverted from a Greco-Roman civilization into a, indeed, kind of Judeo-Christian civilization. I would call it culture. And that is by analyzing empathy. The Western civilization somehow turned from its Greco-Roman civilization, strong with virtues, into empathy, resentment, being weak. All right, let's start with the quote. This comes, I just want to verify if that's true. That's Snoops. Musk said, and I'm quoting, "The fundamental weakness of the Western civilization is empathy." Here is his full quote. Elon Musk, the billionaire, advised the US President Donald Trump, said, "The fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy." Correct attribution. And I'm quoting context. "I believe in empathy, like I think you should care about other people," Musk said as part of the same discussion on Joe Rogan's podcast. "But," and I'm quoting, "you need to have empathy for civilization as a whole and not commit to a civilizational suicide." I think that's correct. All right, so let's see. Empathy. I think that, or maybe you noticed that the mass media, the politicians, people who want to take control of the society in general, they put people in two categories: good ones and bad ones. And the good ones and bad ones in moral terms, not abilities, in moral terms. Like, for instance, they don't say about, let's say, Putin. Putin, we have to all agree that he's an evil guy. He's not a good guy. He's a bad guy, morally. Nobody tells you, hey, was he a good spy? Doesn't know anything about geography. Doesn't know about judo. Is he a good, does he shoot? No, they don't tell you about his abilities. You should not look at Putin because Putin is a bad guy overall, because according to their vision and their analysis based on their slave morality, Putin is an evil guy, morally defective. Why? Because he's a strong guy and we're supposed to not like that particular strong guy because he has no, how do you call that? No regrets. All right, so that's the first one. When they portray, just pay attention, when they talk with someone and when you see a guy interviewing someone else and it's a gotcha moment, they try to destroy that person's character. That's the whole point. There's not, hey, are you good at... No, you should not do that because that runs, is it a heterosexual? Or it's a everything goes. If it's an everything goes, then you're a good person. If it's a heterosexual, you are questionable, you're suspect, according to their values. Understand? Therefore, you're a bad person in anything you do. People should not listen to you, people should not follow you, people should not love you whatsoever. And I can give you another guy, a guy in 1930s and 40s. Remember? He was a good painter, better than me. And I'm a good painter, but he was not the best. Who's the best? I don't know. Nevertheless, you cannot say anything about that person. And how do you work with this? You work with people's empathy. Oh, the Ukrainians are dying, there's children abducted, the infrastructure, even if it's true, and it is true to a certain extent, they try to get this empathy from you to make decisions based on the empathy, on the weak. Never make a law. Don't disperse justice based on empathy. There's no justice. Base it on logic, base it on evidence, but not on that. But you see, every time you see the newspapers, they try to move you. Let's say the Middle East conflict. It's based on a morality. Some are more moral than the other ones. In the moral terms, they have self-defense and blah, blah, blah. And then there's these guys that were attacked. How many? 1,300, horrible, blah, 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 blah. It's always mulling like that kind of weakness. But it's considered now a quality. You are better than others if you have empathy. Why? Because when you have empathy, you're weak. They will pull your empathy around. If you're strong, they can't touch you. I will talk about this I will talk it right now, before I go to the master-slave morality, according to Friedrich Nietzsche, one philosopher that obviously I like very much. We're not supposed to like him. You know why? Because he says certain things not morally nice towards other people. So therefore, you should ignore everything, like Richard Wagner. You should hate Richard Wagner because he liked Nietzsche. No? Or was the other way around? No, Nietzsche liked Wagner. Anyway, right. So anyway, according to the chronology of events. But nevertheless, they both had the same ideas towards the same issue. Therefore, morally, they're defective. You should not listen to anything. No opera, nothing coming from Wagner. And so on. Eugenics, bad. Why? For the same reason. Nothing good about it. You should just ignore it. Epigenetics, bad. For the same reason, because from epigenetics, you go to eugenics. From eugenics, right, you go to Nietzsche. Or Nietzsche, you go to Wagner. From Wagner, you go, oy vey, what those guys did in the 1930s and 40s. And then you can go, if you want, to Plato. Plato supported eugenics. Did you know that? Go and read his Republic. Anyway. So with this little garbage of empathy, they will control you. That's the whole point. And let me tell you a story about my life in the Department of Health and Human Services. Right? When I was over there, empathy was something that we were supposed all to have, like the pinnacle of our quality. Empathy. Not knowledge, not intelligence. And I always, because you were asked, and I said, no, I think strength, intelligence, knowledge, courage. I said, these are the virtues. What do you mean empathy? I said, empathy should be somewhere down there. But should be. You should be, as he said. Now, let's go to the Friedrich Nietzsche's master-slave morality. If you're not familiar with this, please look deeper into it. Master-slave morality. So they say, Nietzsche argues that there are two fundamental types of morality, master morality and slave morality, which correspond respectively to the dichotomies of good/bad and good/evil. In master morality, good is a self-designation of the aristocratic superior classes. It is synonymous with nobility and everything powerful and life-affirming. Bad, quote-unquote, has no condemnatory implication, merely referring to the common or the low and the qualities and values associated with them, in contradistinction to the warrior ethos of the ruling nobility. In slave morality, the meaning of good is made the antithesis of the original aristocratic good. So people who say empathy is because they're weak, and the strong are the evil because they're strong and they don't have empathy, according to them, which itself is relabeled evil. The inversion of values develops out of the resentment the weak feels towards the powerful. And let's go and see what this guy says about master morality. Nietzsche defined master morality as the morality of the strong-willed. He criticized the view, which he identifies with contemporary British ideology: the good is everything that is helpful, and bad is everything that is harmful. He argues proponents of this view have forgotten its origins and its basis merely on habit. The essence of master morality is nobility. Other qualities that are often valued in master morality are open-mindedness, courage, truthfulness, trustworthiness, and accurate sense of one's self-worth. I'm good and fuck you, basically. You're weak, I'm strong. Oh my God, you're bad. Look how bad you are. You're too arrogant. Arrogance, remember, the Bible tells us, master morality begins in the noble man with a spontaneous idea of the good. Then the idea of bad develops as what is not good. All right, let's see what slave morality is. According to Nietzsche, masters create morality. Slaves respond to master morality with their slave morality. Unlike master morality, which is sentiment, slave morality is based on resentiment, devaluing what the master values and what the slave does not have. As master morality originates in the strong, slave morality originates in the weak, because slave morality is a creation to oppression. It vilifies its oppressors. That's what it is. Creation. All right. Slave morality is the inverse of the master morality. As such, it is characterized by pessimism and cynicism. Slave morality is created in opposition to what master morality values are good. And here it is. I'm going to tell you this, and you don't like it. By saying humility is voluntary, slave morality avoids admitting that their humility was in the beginning forced upon them by a master. Biblical principles of humility, charity, and pity, which, what's that? The first one right here, the empathy, right? So, charity and pity are the result of universalizing the plight of the slave onto all humankind, and thus enslaving the masters as well. And I'm quoting, the democratic movement is the heir to Christianity. Yeah, democracy, because it equalizes value. The political manifestation of slave morality because of its obsession with freedom and equality. And you don't have to read further here because that's bad for some, right? So basically that is with they love democracy. They love democracy because you have some wizards. Look who's in charge, who was in charge, or who's in charge of us. Do you think Kamala Harris should have been in a real master morality? She should have been where she was as a human being. What did she have? Oh, you say, well, according Biden, do you consider Biden a leader? A strong leader? Something is wrong. And how did they get over there? Supposedly through democratic vote, which nullifies your vote and my vote. Any baboon over there, weak, full of resentment and values, is going to nullify your vision, which is democratic. One man, one vote, regardless how much that person knows or how much it feels. Got it? So yes, I think empathy is it's a destruction of the Western civilization. Why? Because I'm not going to say who they are, they use it. They don't have that. They don't have that in their little beginning of the, they don't have it in their book. They have it in your book. Because that said, I love you. That is what it is. Now, you don't like that? I don't expect you, I'm pretty sure some will agree with me, but I'm not here to agree or have people agreeing with me. I'm sharing this information. Some people might, say, what the hell are you telling us that is? Think about it. Don't believe. No. Believe feelings. No. Think. It's hard to think because to think means you have to know. In order to know, you have to learn. And, you have the courage to say it, like I do. You have the courage, not you, some of you, have the courage to go in the comments below and hide behind a flower Gigi Mickey and say, you're idiot, Emil. Look at me, I'm right here. You know how I look, you know my name, and you can find out a lot of things about me. I share with you. That tells me that I'm weak, but I want empathy. No, I want justice. And justice cannot be dispersed without truth. Not with empathy. No, with truth. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.